Welcome to Sorry If I Spit When I Speak. In this episode, we're going to finish previewing the draft, covering the second and third rounds, and giving you some ideas of gems the Bengals could take in the mid and late rounds. Now, I am joined, as always, by the great John Sheeran and the electric Hodgie, the Smoogie.
Both wearing green. I don't know what Daddy is doing. He needs to expand his wardrobe a little bit.
Yeah, well,
do you know how much these suits cost? I mean, you can't have all these different colors,
Well, Dad, you do know why we are wearing green, right?
I do not.
Do you know what today was or is?
No.
Well, it's Earth Day.
Right.
And
right.
did you know? And did you know that there was a famous celebrity born on Earth Day?
No.
A famous celebrity who just got back from the Cayman Islands to celebrate his birthday, which is also on Earth Day.
Can we move this along and get to
look up here, man. Look, just got back from Cayman Islands. His birthday is Earth Day.
Oh wow. Okay. Is it someone in the draft?
No, you're not even close. It's someone who is in a rock and roll band with you for over 30 years.
Oh wow!
He doesn't sound that important.
T-Bone,
yeah, he's important.
Oh no, sorry.
You're doing the passive aggressive stuff. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, it's my birthday.
Okay, so look,
that's my birthday. Happy birthday, Hodgie. That's all I wanted. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
and you know what I want for my birthday?
You already have a Tesla. What else do you want?
I want T.J. Hawkinson. That's what I want for the Bengals as my number one draft pick. You see how I took over the show right there? It's my birthday. It's my show. And I want TJ.
We're going to talk about the first round. He's not going to be able in the second round.
All right.
but
that's what I want. All right, go ahead. Do your show. It's my birthday. I want it to be like a regular day. Don't make a big deal about it. Don't I don't like that.
Okay. No, don't worry. I won't do that. So let's get right to it. So first round, we kind of gave our picks. Some rumors floating around about Dwayne Haskins. We don't know what to believe with that. It's probably a smoke, probably some people assuming because the OSU connection, but it's like with a franchise quarterback.
Yeah. The smoke in this draft, I think you guys will agree. I mean, the amount of, dissimulation and provocation and equivocation in this year's draft is unlike anything I've seen before. I mean, the rumor has it, and I just read this today, is that the whole Rosen trade thing from the Cardinals was just smoke too. I don't know if you guys read this. There's been a lot of, I do not like the new deceptive NFL. I don't know if it's just me. I used to like the old straightforward days.
Wait. No, Rosen getting traded, right?
No, that was all a trick. That whole thing of making it seem like he wasn't going to play this coming year, they were just blowing smoke up everybody's.
You're a world-famous guitarist, but you don't know the simple rules of negotiating? There's only one reason why they're saying that it's smoke. It's because they don't like what's been offered to them.
That's why we went broke. We didn't have you.
Yeah. The Bengals are broke in their minds too. So
it's very critical to really running any organization, whether football organization or business, that you understand, the kind of nuances or the subtleties to making a good transaction. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get to the second round. So look, let's say the Bengals. If they like Kyler Murray, sure, he's not going to drop that far.
No.
Rosen, he's probably going to the Cardinals or somewhere earlier than the Bengals. So we got to Dwayne Haskins. Now, we have doubt about the Bengals' interest in him and if he'd be available. But let's go to the second round, and here's a guy in Will Grier. That could be available. He could be there.
Like him.
This guy, he is kind of like, it's a little bit of a risky pick, John, right?
Yeah, but... So you have Murray and Haskins at the top. I think those are your top two quarterbacks, and then there's a lot of talk about Drew Lock and Daniel Jones, but they didn't produce exactly like high quality players, and that's what Will Grier did. Now you can talk about producing against Big 12 competition, producing in West Virginia's offense all you want. But the reality is he has the data that supports a potentially high quality career. The only issue with Grier is that he doesn't have the traditional measurables of a quarterback. He's only about 6'1", 200-something pounds, and he's also on the older side. He just turned 24 this year, and there's never been a quarterback entering the NFL at that age who's ever produced multiple Pro Bowls, multiple All-Pros. So you're looking at the best case, the long-term starter. But the thing that gets me excited about Grier is that unlike a guy like Haskins, unlike a guy like Daniel Jones, he can create for himself. And if the protection's not exactly perfect up front, if his receivers aren't open downfield, he can buy time. He can create throwing windows by himself, and he has a lot of velocity, more velocity than you think for a guy who's of his stature. So Greer can make things happen that not a lot of other quarterbacks in this class can, and I think that's where the value of him is, and I think that's why he would be right behind Haskins for me in terms of ranking these quarterbacks and the overall upside that he brings over a guy like Drew Lock, who's way more erratic with his accuracy. And the same really goes to Daniel Jones and another quarterback we're going to talk to. But I like Will Grier for what he is, and I think the second round would be perfect for him in a situation like the Bengals have.
Yes, and if I may interject, I mean, putting together a good offense. You mentioned my musical history and my present too. I'm still rocking. One thing everybody knows is that putting together a good offensive line is as challenging as putting together a good rock and roll band. And one little problem in the band, like you get a bassist who doesn't have rhythm or something like that, it throws everything off. The Bengals, I don't see them having that kind of O-line, not this year, and probably not next year. I mean, the way they're going, let's just be frank. So they need a guy who can make his own plays. I feel like that's what I feel like they need some. Yeah, go ahead.
And I think that's how other NFL teams are looking at it too, because they're looking at Baker Mayfield, they're looking at Patrick Mahomes, guys who can just kind of make things happen if things start breaking down. Andy Dalton's like the opposite of that, right? If things start breaking down, he can't really create for himself. Things all go to chaos. So when you're looking at the NFL, who is in general is just really short on offensive line talent, and passers are getting more athletic, they're getting more productive, they're getting more dangerous. You need the quarterback that can effectively counter that. And I think that's where the value is of Will Grier and why he may potentially sneak into the first round for a team like maybe the Chargers or maybe another team with an older quarterback looking to groom under a guy. But you look at the Bengals and where their offense as a whole is right now in terms of personnel and who they have a quarterback right now. I think Grier would be an excellent backup to Dalton for 2019 to potentially take over 2020. The only problem is he'd be 25 when he takes over, and that's again a little on the older side. And you have to think maybe he's not going to get much better than what he is right now, and that's just the decision that they're going to have to make.
John, excuse me, John, for those of our fans out there who don't follow the NFL college as closely as you and I do, as we do here, why is he so old?
He transferred from Florida, so he lost like a year of eligibility, I think. So he's like a fifth-year guy. So he could have entered the league at 23 like some other quarterbacks do, but he stayed behind a year, and that's kind of going to hurt him for the long term.
Gotcha. I thought he was kind of like me, where I failed, a few classes, and I don't
think he's stupid.
Not touche. I am Dr. Hodgie, but that's fine. It's my birthday, so I'm going to let that one go. Go ahead.
But look, so I mean, I can see the issue with the age. But it's a second round pick. And the thing about Grier, like we said, it's a high risk kind of pick anyways, regardless of the age, because he has the aggressive playing style and whatnot. So we know that, there's a 50-50 chance his game translates to NFL anyways, So I think you take that pick kind of, I'm hesitant to take a quarterback you're not completely sold on, because I think it will set the franchise like the Bengals back a few years, because they're like, hey, we got like with AJ McCarron. It's like, hey, we got the quarterback. Don't say we don't have we're not challenging Dalton. And then it's like, 4 or 5 years later, it's like, okay, we don't really have any young prospect quarterback. We
were talking about value, and it really is about value here. I mean, Haskins, the rumor about Haskins just will not die. Haskins is not a good deal in the first round at the number 11 pick, or even a few picks later than that. He's just not a good deal. I'm just not that interested in Haskins. I see the glow. I see why. It's just not as good of a buy.
Can I say personally, I'm glad that you finally come around on the value of getting good deals. Like it wasn't really registering with you before, and I'm glad to see that. I mean, as a Bengals fan, I think it's critical.
You're going back into. I know these are all allusions to Art of the Deal.
Okay, no. Look, okay, you're getting off track. You're getting way off track. I read you, man. Yeah. Okay. So another guy that a lot of Bengals fans are talking about in the second round is Dalton Risner, a tackle from Kansas State. We know he's good in the run, which a lot of Bengals fans say, "Oh, Dalton has no pass blocking." The reality is, our run blocking is worse, and the fact that Mixon what he did is really impressive. But it'd be nice to have not just an average, but potentially above average tackle at the run blocking position. The right tackle. I don't know if Risner play right or not, but maybe he's
mostly right tackle.
Yeah, so we have that, but then we have, he struggled in the past sometimes against like Montez Sweat and other guys, but a second round pick, improve your line.
Well, let me just throw a possibility out there. I'm thinking outside the box. What if we could get both of them? Both of those picks? Two round picks by getting rid of our first round pick. Why not, man? Why not? Look, man. Look. It seems to me that Bengals need more B-level players than they need one A-level player. So see how much you can get in the second round. Get rid of the first round, because the first round doesn't have anything all that spectacular going on.
Well, more than that, the Bengals are better in the second round. They got Mixon, they got Boyd, they got Jesse Bates.
Exactly.
But it depends on what we get. Like if we can get the second round, move back to the second round, and maybe get like another second rounder for next year. I don't know what
we're gonna need another first rounder if we're gonna move back 20 spots at least.
That's true. So like maybe like next year's first rounder for a team.
Yeah, easily.
And then,
next year's first round and two second rounds.
Right, but what I'm saying, the good thing is, and John will love this, is that then we have 2 first round picks next year and better quarterback class. So maybe we trade up.
That's a dangerous statement, because every year the next year's quarterback class is better. It doesn't matter what class it is. Every year the next year's better.
That's not true.
It's a dangerous statement to make.
That's not true, John. Okay, John, you're getting way off topic.
Let's go back to Reisner.
Stay on topic.
I was corrected on Twitter for calling him Risner. His name's actually Reisner for some reason. He's also an older guy. I think he's going to turn 24 this year, along with Greer. But he does have positional versatility, and I think that's the key for who the Bengals are going to draft if they're going to draft an offensive tackle. Like Jawan Taylor, the guy who's going to be charged in the first round, he's only a right tackle. Reisner played most of his college ball right tackle, but he also had experience inside. I remember at the Senior Bowl, he also said he was really comfortable playing center. So he's in a sense, he's kind of like Trey Hopkins, where he can play realistically all 5 positions on the line. And I would trust an athlete of his caliber to be able to do that. I think he's tenacious in terms of run blocking. I think he's competent enough in pass blocking as an athlete. And I think if the Bengals are going to invest a high pick in an offensive lineman, it's going to be someone like Risner who can provide versatility all throughout the game.
And John, let me add, Andrew Whitworth, when he was drafted, how old was he?
20. He's an exception. He's an exception to the rule.
No, John, come on.
He aged very gracefully.
Let's be honest. Tackle is a lot about old man strength in the first place. There's true. Not a lot of So these old, fatter.
I'm just saying, like Whitworth was an exception because of how good he was when he came out of college, and he just gradually got a little bit better. And
when was Whitworth drafted? When did you draft Whitworth?
The second round.
Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. We need more second round. Get rid of the first round. We don't want the first round. Give me second round.
I'm telling you guys, age matters. Age matters more than you guys think, I would say.
Oh, coming from the 22-year-old.
Yeah. I feel like that once again. What were the insults tonight?
Where would John be drafted? Where would John be drafted if this show had like a draft for analysts or something?
First round, easily.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. He'd be first overall. That's why he's.
But we would be second round, John. See,
one of us.
You guys aren't retired.
That's true.
Look.
We're like leatherheads.
Let's move on to another guy we could target in the second round, which is Mac Wilson. Now, if we decide not to go linebacker first round, we have a linebacker who's good at coverage. Really.
Yeah. And his name Mac. If anybody named Mac by default is going to be pretty good in the NFL. It's a very good name.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But the point is this, is that he gives us, he's not maybe the best rounded, but he gives us what we need, which is the ability to cover tight ends and running backs. Right, John?
Yeah, I think round 2 is a little bit rich for Mac, but I think that's probably where he goes because Alabama pedigree and linebackers in general. Alabama linebackers have been nominally overrated over recent years because most of them just can't really tackle, and it didn't produce a lot of tackles on the stat sheet. And that's going to be a problem for Wilson going forward. I do like his ability in coverage, but he's just a middling athlete in general. So you're talking about what really is the upside with a guy like this. Now, relative to what the Bengals have at linebacker, Wilson would be able to contribute immediately because of what's already there, and he wouldn't really have to any relative competition compared to him. Long term, I wonder what he's going to be in 5 years, if he's going to be much better, if he's going to be that reliable tackler, that guy who you can trust on all 3 downs. But, on day 2, there are worse risks to take, I would say. Yes.
Yeah.
But,
so Yeah, well, I'm not the kind of guy who talks on topics. So since this is my birthday, John, I want you to humor me with one answer to my question, because you're the smart guy around here, the number one draft pick on our show. All this hype about the Browns, what's going to happen?
This
I
seems
mean,
personal.
it seems personal, but is it substantiated, or are they going to suck? Please
It's
say
April. Like, how do you expect me to know this?
I need to know now.
All that I know is
John,
that they have a really good quarterback.
they do.
They paired that quarterback with a coach that seemed to work well with him.
That's
They
true.
brought in one of the very best receivers in the NFL.
And they cheated to do that. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's conspiracy.
They have a good base on defense. They just don't really have anybody in the secondary. If they invest in the secondary early, you have to say that they are legitimate contenders for the division based on what their roster is right now. They don't have a lot of holes, and you can't really say that about the Bengals right now.
No, I mean, they have a really impressive roster, and all signs point to them having the most talented team in the division, which is why the Steelers are still going to win the division. But let's look. I want to move on, okay, to the third round. And there's another quarterback that we could take there, just going by where he would fall, and kind of like maybe he's the best fit in the third round, and that is Ryan Finley of North Carolina State, who has nice accuracy. He can throw on the run, he can throw deep accurately, but he has kind of a slower release. He didn't throw a lot of touchdowns, not very prolific in the end zone, not so good in the rivalry games against Clemson and UNC, but he kind of. He could, it's kind of like, again, can this guy manage the physicality and the speed of the NFL or not? Now, John, what do you think?
Finley just doesn't excite me, but I understand why the NFL likes him. I think he scored 43 on the Wonderlic. He's got incredible size to him, and he's pretty accurate all throughout the field, but again, I think he's on the older side. I don't know why we're talking about age so much, but it's a question of how much better is he going to be in the NFL, and I just don't think it's going to be very much. I think if you're looking for a guy you might want to develop just as a long-term backup, Ryan Finley's probably going to be in the NFL for 10 years. I don't know how many of those seasons and games are going to be of him starting. I just don't think it's going to be that much. The team might want to give him a shot like a la Mike Lennon a couple years ago, but like, there's just nothing that really excites me out of him and the way the NFL's going. I just don't see a long-term starting career for Finley. But yeah. I don't doubt that he'll get drafted high.
Yeah, go ahead, Hodgie.
And without doubt, with the new NFL, a good backup QB has proven to be a very important asset. It's something people used to not think a lot about. But now it's weird because everybody wants to have that decent backup, because it's just becoming, because the QB position is so vital, and people are getting hurt, and now that being said, I don't think that you need to take a backup QB in round 3, considering the other holes that we have, which are many holes on our team, whether offensive line or linebackers. We got problems. We don't need the backup. I'm not saying that the backup that we have is okay, but I'm just saying that there's going to be enough movement of other backups in the NFL that you're going to be able to get someone else from someone else's roster.
I want to talk about Finley's teammate. He's a linebacker, like you just mentioned. Yeah. It's Jermaine Pratt.
Yes.
I first heard about this guy down at the Senior Bowl. I think it was one of the practices. He came in, measured in like 22 miles an hour on the field. They did like some weird tracking thing where they track players' movement. And at the combine, I think he ran like under 4.6 at 230 something pounds. So great speed for him. Just looking at what the Bengals like need to replace Burfict, just the guy that will run and chase pursuit linebacker. He pretty much fits that role pretty perfectly. He's a converted safety. Gained a little bit of weight to play linebacker. Really only started 1 year, but produced in that 1 year that he started. I think he's only going to get better. I think he's a very good athlete for his size. I think he was also playing middle linebacker down the Senior Bowl. They had the microphone in his helmet, so he was making adjustments and calls at the line of scrimmage. So he has that ability in case Preston Brown gets injured. So positional versatility with him, high upside in terms of athleticism and production. Yeah. In the third round, you can do a lot worse than that.
I like that guy. I like Pratt. Hey, so Burfict went to Oakland, huh?
He did.
Isn't that like the perfect place for Burfict? Like, it's weird. Like, people do end up where they're supposed to be. Because I mean, Dadio and I went and saw the Bengals play Oakland. Was it like 2 years ago, 3 years? That's a rough crowd.
Yeah.
That is a rough crowd.
But let's be honest, the perfect place would be the Steelers. That's where he fit the most. But
true. That's true. But the close runner-up would be the Oakland Raiders. I mean, that's a perfect place for him. I really look forward to watching him play. I'm just glad he's not on our team because he was ruining our reputation.
No, I hope that maybe the NFL lets him play his game. It's fun to watch, I mean, there'll be casualties.
The NFL does need more. The NFL does need more concussions for sure. So.
Well, okay. If you believe in concussions, I apparently don't. Yeah.
Oh
okay, so
gosh! Oh gosh! You're like honestly, it's like you're a magnet for conspiracy.
No. It seems like we're talking about them a lot more than we used to, as Marvin Lewis said. Because Okay. Yeah. Because it's hurting ratings of the NFL, which hurts the ratings of our show.
Money. We get it.
That's not true. Well, actually, while we're at it, maybe we should take a break to talk about the patrons that we have. Obviously, they are very. We love them. And John, do you remember who our patrons are?
Yes, the wonderful. Oh, what's his name? It starts with a. I want to say a B, maybe a C. Help me out here. What was his name?
There's one named Rick.
Rick?
Yeah. Hey, Rick.
Well,
thanks, Rick.
Okay, so we have Ashante Sanders.
Yep.
Tim Brashear.
That's new.
Tim, I think he's been for a while. He's been a couple of months.
I've never heard these names before, my friend.
John, okay, we're gonna have to edit this out. Oh, it's a live stream. Forget it. Okay, so look, then we have Tim Brashear, we have Andrew Seiler, we have Brian Taylor.
Andrew Seiler's a real G. Me and him go way back.
Yeah, he's good.
Michael Ford and Tanner Guerin, who have been giving for a very long time. And so we want to thank them.
Whoa. And, you didn't mention Rick.
Rick Hawley, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick Hawley donated a lot to the show, to help us get the puppets and help us develop our sets and our equipment. So
I love you, Rick. Happy birthday to me.
Yeah. Okay, so let us move on. So I want to talk about defensive ends. Last third round pick, which is Max Crosby in Eastern Michigan.
Oh yeah.
And this is an athletic guy, right? But Eastern Michigan, not exactly a place that the Bengals are looking to draft from normally. Right,
Eastern Michigan is just north of Ohio State. And at Ohio State, there's a guy named Nick Bosa. Some of you may have heard of him. This guy tested like Nick Bosa at the combine. Great flexibility, above average speed and explosion, but actually produced like the player that most people believe Nick Bosa to be. Now, again, Eastern Michigan is not exactly the biggest school. He didn't have a lot of offers coming out of college. In fact, Eastern Michigan was the only Division I offer that he had, and that was only because of some miracle that he had to pull off. But once he got to Eastern Michigan, he produced, and and against Purdue and other quote unquote big time programs, he looked competent, and that's definitely important because if you're going to draft guys from smaller programs like Eastern Michigan, you want them to be athletic compared to everybody else in this class. You want them to be massively productive against even small competition, because if they don't dominate against weaker teams, are not going to be able to dominate in the NFL. That's why he's probably available here in the second or third round. But I think this could be one of the great value picks in this draft because there's not a lot of edges with the production and the athleticism that Max Crosby has.
Yeah. I mean, and really, look, we're not in dire need of defensive ends, in my opinion. We could use some depth, we could use some help, but I like the idea of the high upside guy. You know what I mean? We have enough talent where he will have to earn the job, and it'll be nice if he does. Hey, it works out. It's great, So, John, let's go to the later rounds. So, fourth to seventh. Yeah, we're already
watching the draft after round 3. That's amazing.
I just stopped at round 4. Round 4 is probably the cutoff.
Yeah, I'm not really.
Yeah, but guys, can I explain something? Even if we don't watch them, they will be on our team.
Yeah, men will watch them.
Yeah. So we want to talk about guys that we are doing this not for ourselves. We're doing this for the Cincinnati Bengals, telling them, kind of doing the research for them, saving them a lot of money because the scouting is expensive. So they take this show.
All 2 salaries that they're paying the scouting department. That's a lot of coming out of their budget.
Yeah.
You know, Dadio, if I could make a movie, I'd remake the movie Twins, and it'd be about you and Mike Brown, how you were both basically from the same genetic material. And like you're the little guy and he's the big guy, and you're both very cheap. And
it's like, one of those guys, the twins, is basically like the perfect human being. So I'm assuming it's Mike Brown. Yeah.
Well, that's true. And
Yeah.
I
So
guess it
look,
doesn't really work.
Okay. So look. So John, I know you like a couple of guys. You like Max Sharping from Northern Illinois as a guy who can get to the mid to late rounds,
Yeah.
right? You like his athleticism. You like his flexibility. I'm assuming he does yoga.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering how they test flexibility.
Flexibility is the short shuttle and 3-cone measured against their overall weight. He was 6'5", 327, had one of the best 3-cones and short shuttles at the combine. And that's important for tackles in their ability to kind of absorb power and absorb bull rushers. Max Sharping is one of the best pass protectors in this class. Now, again, another small school guy, didn't go up against a lot of great competition. Max Crosby in an interview once said that the best tackle that he went up against was Max Sharping, and he played against, and Eastern Michigan did play against some tough schools. So Max Sharping, I believe, is one of the best 5 tackles in this class. But again, small school bias is going to push him down a little bit. But he does have that high upside in terms of athleticism, good size to his name. He was also at the Senior Bowl, and he played pretty well down there. You look at value in terms of what the Bengals need. They don't need they need a starter right tackle, but they're not going to start anybody over Bobby Hart based off what they paid him. So they need a guy that can develop behind Cordy Glenn, behind Bobby Hart for the next 1 or 2 years. Sharpie needs a little bit more development in terms of his technique, but I think he can be developed into a good player. I think this is a good spot where the Bengals can address that need.
I want him.
That's great.
Let's get him.
Yeah. So
I
look,
like him.
yeah. So rounding it out, unless Hodgie has some gems to share,
as I said, I tune out after round 3.
Right.
Sometimes after round 2, it depends on how much I've eaten.
Right. So I'm looking at some linebackers in the later rounds, and we have Cameron Smith, who, he could be a guy to kind of take Burfict's role in a way, I guess, just kind of filling his space and cleaning up a little bit. He doesn't have Burfict's coverage skills, obviously.
Well, Burfict wasn't that good of a cover guy.
He was still by far our best cover guy.
Yeah.
hey, I'm kind of getting bored with this. Hey, I got a question for you, John.
Hit me.
Okay. So you don't think the Bengals are taking Haskins, right?
Not based off what I heard. I think the Haskins stuff is manufactured from outside the organization.
Oh my gosh, smoke. So who's going to take him? You guess.
I have no idea. There's people saying that the Raiders are going to take him at 4. There's people saying the Giants are going to take him at 6. People saying that the Redskins are going to trade up for him inside the top 10. He could go anywhere after the 3rd overall pick, all the way to the 17th overall pick.
Because there's kind of like a trifecta. I mean, there's kind of like I don't even know. It's like the Raiders and the Redskins and us. It's like we're all like in the same, because they seem to want to do what we do. I get that feeling from them.
What do we do?
I don't know, but I mean, like, we're interested in Haskins, they're interested in Haskins. We're interested in Rosen,
it's kind of really. Let's be honest. It's a Gruden thing. They all have Grudens.
They really like Marvin Lewis too, by the way.
It's either Grudens or the remnants of Gruden. Like, we still have some of the stink of Gruden in Cincinnati.
Yeah. So round 5, 6, 7, 8, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. So just one more guy. Okay, I guess that's enough.
I don't know, man. I just don't. I mean, really, does the rest of the draft matter? I don't think so. I mean, round 1 matters, round 2 matters less. By the time you get to round 3, it's like, a rainbow in a puddle. It's just gonna wash away,
Geno Atkins, what round?
4.
Probably 2.
There you go. 4. Our best.
The draft ends after round 5.
Wait. Andy Dalton, what round?
Was he drafted?
Yeah, it was drafted. Nice, Mr. Passive Aggressive.
Okay, look. We're getting way off topic here, but I just want to add that we actually do really well in the undrafted pool as well. So we're just talking about names because look, like I said, we have a lot of holes on linebacker, and it would be nice to take some guys who have coverage skills. Look, Malik Jefferson could come in and contribute, but another guy could be Jahlani Tavai, who he has some coverage skills, not so good in man, but he has some coverage skills. I'm saying we take, look, like you said, these are crapshoots, and we're going to probably miss on almost all of our late round picks. So why not take a bunch of linebackers with high upside, and maybe one of them,
I can get behind that. I can get behind that. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Well, I guess that's all we have for this episode of Sorry If I Spit When I Speak. We will see you next time. So long, SVT. Bye.